What is up, guys? Poledoo here, welcome back. Some more Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Last time we finished Chapter 16's Great Bridge of Murden. It was a hot mess because of the the Lawrence rush I decided to do. But it was a lot of fun, as messy and terrible as it ended up being. Really enjoyed it. But we're moving on to Chapter 17. We had some cryptic stuff go on with Gilbert and Seteth saying, no, we can't join the Blue Lions or ally with them, so we'll see what happens now.
Part 2. Silver Snow. Harpstring Moon. The Impregnable Fortress. After seizing the Great Bridge of Murden, the Resistance Army starts making preparations to invade Imperial territory, when a surprising piece of information comes to light.
So going to the Impregnable Fortress, you know, I mentioned how I would hope a Gronder Field was happening, but I don't think it's going to, especially because, well, one, this doesn't have anything to do, this chapter title doesn't have anything to do with the Gronder Field / rivalry, no naming scheme of the sort. And the way the dialogue went down with Gilbert and Seteth, I'm thinking
emergency in Gronder Field. There's a
I'm thinking my assumption and my guess as to what was gonna happen is true. That because we didn't ally with them, we just let them pass. They went to Gronder Field, met up with Edelgard and company, and got absolutely stomped out. Let's see.
We are in the middle of a military conference. Please, calm yourself and tell us what is the matter.
Yes, sir. It seems the Kingdom and Alliance armies clashed with Imperial forces on Gronder Field.
Kingdom and Alliance. So there was a battle of the Gronder Field, but because we're the fucking church, we didn't go? Ugh. I wanted to go to the party.
Amid the chaos of three armies battling each other out there, the Imperial army was routed. Edelgard sustained heavy wounds and retreated to Enbar.
Well then, I suppose.
Sir, the Kingdom army was also decimated, and His Highness Dimitri has been counted among the dead.
What?
The Alliance sustained heavy casualties as well, and the whereabouts of their leader, Claude, is currently unknown.
Unknown?
Well, it kind of makes sense if you go by, like, what happens in the Blue Lions route. So he just kind of disappears. It's like, surprise! So it's kind of a mix of the two. Because, yeah, what happened to Dimitri happened again whenever we saw this from the Golden Deer perspective. I like, who is more important? My boy Dimitri? Fuck everyone else.
It must have been a brutal fight. To have lost His Highness. How tragic. Our only solace is that Edelgard sustained severe injuries.
That sentence just is funny to me. I get it. We're in war. She's the enemy. That's what you want to hope. But it's just like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I hope she fucking stubbed her toe. I hope she stubbed her toe real bad. I don't know, man.
This is all quite unexpected, but we must find a way to use this situation to our advantage. The Empire's main force has suffered a mighty blow. Edelgard will most certainly avoid the front lines. Now is the time for us to infiltrate the Empire and aim for the capital.
But what will happen to the Lords of the Old Kingdom and Alliance territories?
They have lost many leaders and soldiers. I am sure they must be hard at work rebuilding. We will foster cooperation by aiding them through the local churches.
Oh, now we'll aid them. Seteth. I mean, I get it. Story-wise, I get it. But at this point, I don't give a fuck about the story. Every path has had an issue of some sort. And Crimson Flower, more so than anything else. At this point, I just want a cool story. I don't care. I mean, that's kind of how I feel just in general. I don't really care if the story's well written. As long as I have fun and it's really fucking cool. Which is what I expected of Crimson Flower. I didn't expect it to be done well, but I at least expected it to be cool. And I mean, that's subjective, right? But I did not think it was very cool. It was... The last, like, what, 3 chapters were cool. In tone. Everything else was not. And only in the maps of those chapters.
The remaining lords of the Kingdom and Alliance must join together to form one union. And you should be the one to lead them. What do you say?
I say this is what we should have done last week when Gilbert asked you to join. What do you mean in time? I can't decide yet. Say yes.
It is a question for another day. We must focus on our battle with the Empire. For now, what is our next course of action?
Let's just... Who are we gonna invade first?
We must choose a place within the Empire that will give us solid defenses for our front line. That will become the foothold for our invasion of the capital. There is one massive fortress that boasts the greatest defenses in the Empire. Fort Mercius. We will stand no chance if we attack by traditional means. We must gather everyone and devise a plan of attack.
Fort Mercius. Okay. That map, I believe, was absent from... If it's the map I think it is, I believe that was absent from Crimson Flower.
It has been a lifetime, hasn't it, Professor?
Are we going insane?
Yes. I thought so too.
What is happening? I thought you got fucked. Okay, so clearly... The Golden clearly he didn't get stabbed to death.
I wanted to slice her throat, but I did not get the chance.
I'm kind of wondering back to that, like, 3-part, like... I wonder if Edelgard's okay, or Edelgard's hurt, or whatever. And it's like, he's dead, and I wonder where Claude is. Did those matter? Did that determine who we talked to here? Not that, again, if it was Edelgard and Edelgard popped up here, be like, what the fuck, just kill her. So it probably didn't, I don't know. It's one of those things like, it could be, and it could just not make sense. Oh. Why are you here? What happened?
I let people die, and yet I still stand.
Yeah, how?
Rodrigue, Gustav, Dedue.
Oh. So you didn't get stabbed. Dedue got stabbed. Why'd you survive?
You sound just like Rodrigue. Reason. Everyone gives such complicated advice, and I can never quite grasp it all. That is why, Professor, I came here to explain my decision.
What decision?
I have no resources to take back the Kingdom capital, much less to defeat the Empire. And that is why...
Professor, you will catch a cold sleeping in a place like this.
Oh, it's just a fucking dream? Why you gotta, what? Okay, so maybe that choice would have changed who we talked to. Wait, what is happening?
Is something the matter?
Where'd he go?
I am the only one here. Were you dreaming? I can't say for certain that you were dreaming, but if someone did come here to see you, that person only wanted you to see their face. Perhaps they wanted you to guide them.
You know, I think for once, I'm gonna reset and I'm gonna click, like, Edelgard and see what happens. And if Edelgard pops up in our dreams, I'm curious what she says. And then I want to see Claude. Hold on. Okay. So I hit Edelgard.
It has been a lifetime, hasn't it, Professor?
Okay, so it didn't matter what I clicked. Dimitri just kind of pops in as a fucking ghost in our dream or something. Or, I don't fucking, I don't know. But, I feel like this is a good example of it doesn't necessarily have to make sense or be well done. Because at the moment, I feel more like why than anything, but I still think it's cool. I think this is a good example of that. Alright, well, before we hop into a monastery, Cyril, round 3. Will you pass bow knight, please? You hit A rank in bows, you're up to 72. I know you can't read, but you don't have to read to ride a horse. There we go. Hell yeah, bud. That you did. Alright. Well, of course we'll get through supports at the end of today's episode. It did! Retribution, 37? Even higher than this one? Oh, and it lasts until the month after, too. Wow. I do know we will be doing Foreign Land and Sky this month. Oh, it actually expires this month, I just realized. Oh, yeah, of course we'll be doing it this month. Okay. Huh. Well then. And either way, I guess let's get our monastery going. That was... What a start to a chapter. That was the biggest, like... I don't know, I got thrown... Because, like, to an extent, I predicted what was gonna happen. Like, but I wasn't expecting all of that to happen. And then... Okay, let's just get exploring. I guess, I don't know how much I should look into it, read into it, think about it. Let's just move on.
I'm rather curious to see what stratagem we'll devise to capture the fortress. You know Fort Mercius's nickname, I assume. The stubborn old general. But there must be one or two gaps in its defenses.
I hardly recognize everyone. Their faces have changed so much. More experience in the eyes, and more pain. I'm glad that they're stronger, but I hate to think they've all become hardened killers. Look after them, okay? Try to keep them on the straight and narrow.
Doesn't matter how sturdy they keep. If the commander defending it is incompetent, it can fall as easy as anything. That's what they say, at least. I wonder if that applies to Fort Mercius. All I know is, if I was the Emperor, I'd never in a million years assign an incompetent commander to a fort as important as that one.
I only know what little I overheard. But what I did hear implied that the Empire was involved in the tragedy of Duscur. If it's true, that may explain why His Highness chose to fight the Empire. Perhaps I should have fought alongside His Highness. Because I too lost someone to that tragedy. The most important person in my world. Those of us still on this plane of existence will carry the torch. The inhumane actions of the Empire must not be repeated.
A class reunion on the battlefield? That's bleak. That must have been so hard on everyone. You gotta keep looking after them all. I mean, they still look to you for guidance, you know?
Dimitri, the late Prince of Fargus. He despised the Empire with all his heart. He should not have tried leading an army while his emotions were holding him captive. True enough, but I suspect the reason he died is that he could not keep his emotions in check. I see. You are saying you met with Dimitri, but you could not tell if it was reality or a dream. I wonder what that could mean.
According to information we've received from the Eastern Church, the Alliance territories seem to be experiencing intense upheaval. Their leaders' well-being is still unclear, and the Lords are all questioning each other's intentions. It seems like a difficult time to ask the Alliance for assistance.
Standing face to face with those whom I went to school with. On the field of battle. How inhuman war is. How horrifying. My heart feels shattered. It is my hope that this war marks the end of such foolish behavior.
I have excitement in my heart for secret tactics. I enjoy attacks that are surprising. Surprise attacks are safe with friends. Fewer injuries.
I've come to deliver vegetables we harvested in the village to the monastery's dining hall. Because of the season, I couldn't really pick that much, but I wanted to help the church out, even just a little bit. We're busily planting seeds, so when things start to grow, I'll be back.
You're quite a tactician, disguising ourselves as enemy soldiers to sneak in undetected. A stroke of brilliance. In a frontal attack, our losses would be tremendous. With this strategy, we can really snatch victory from the jaws of deceit. Yes, with you leading our fighters, I've no doubt the Empire will suffer an embarrassing deceit. Get it? Deceit again?
It's always so peaceful coming back here. But it's hard to relax knowing we have to go out on another expedition again so soon. And assaulting that huge keep. That sounds hard. Oh, really hard. Don't you think it'll be hard? Of course you'd say that. Why'd I even ask?
If Claude somehow survived, I imagine he's terribly wounded. All three forces have suffered heavy losses. We're incredibly lucky to have not been involved. This is a perfect and unique opportunity to go on the offense. Now is the time to prove ourselves, Professor.
Fort Merceus is next, huh? Ah, the memories. It's a huge stronghold in my father's domain. The town's completely surrounded by high walls. I used to run around there when I was a kid, way back when a fortress was just a playground for me. Yeah, those were the days.
Edelgard, Dimitri, Claude, all the house leaders from way back when, assembled again at Gronder. I wonder what their thoughts were as they headed out to the battlefield.
After that great battle earlier, the balance of power in Fódlan has shifted greatly. But we only stood a chance because we drove the Empire from the Great Bridge of Murden. To get revenge for all our fallen friends, we'll have to stake our lives on the fight that lies before us.
I've come here after getting chased out of the Empire. There's no place for our kind there anymore. But there are still many inside Empire territory who haven't abandoned their faith in the Church of Seiros. I pray that one day we'll get the chance to rebuild the church within the Empire.
I heard that a staggering number of people lost their lives in the battle at Gronder. And here we are, preparing for the next battle as if nothing happened the day before. It's almost easier to think about war as theater, with the stage an entire continent. Something like that. If an accident happens on stage, the next day's performance must be unaffected. Everyone just pretends like everything is fine, focusing on their role in the play.
Guess what I noticed? I can see further than most other people can see. But I can't figure the point of seeing further than an arrow can fly, since I can't shoot what I see. I suppose I could see a whole horde of enemies coming and run away. That's kind of useful at least. Thanks, Professor. I think I get it now. I'm gonna put my eyes to real good use.
I like this idea of yours, dressing as Imperial soldiers so they'll let us in. But don't you wish there was one more twist in the plan? Come on, Professor, think. How could we add another wrinkle, Said it's dressed as a woman. I don't understand what the point of that would be. On second thought, let's just stick to the plan as originally conceived. That seems safer.
I've heard that Gilbert, who used to serve in the Knights of Seiros, fell at Gronder. Apparently he was originally a knight of the kingdom, And now he shared Prince Dimitri's fate. Gilbert was an exceptional knight. It's an unspeakable shame.
Did you give the ridiculous order to prepare Imperial armor for every one of our troops?
I've reached out through all of my channels, but there are limits to these things. I'll have to recruit an entire town's worth of people if I ever plan on making enough.
Each step closer to Enbar, I'm reminded of another part of my past. Riches and poverty, glory and failure. That city has it all. And if I'm honest, sometimes I miss it. That's how the past works, though, isn't it? It's always a different story than what you really lived.
Fort Mercius is the Empire's single most fortified military installation. Utterly impregnable, they say. I wonder, do you happen to know the nickname given to Fort Mercius? Indeed, a very good answer. But of course, you'd know that. Seems Fódlans give everyone and everything a nickname. Why, you were called the Ashen Demon. Myself, I have been called the Father of Crestology, which is a nickname as well as a title, I suppose.
The battle at Gronder Field certainly took an unexpected turn, did it not? Let us press on, so as not to waste the opportunity. Fort Mercius is a keep that was constructed to defend the imperial capital, Enbar. We cannot enter the capital without first capturing that fort. But once we have it, the city should be almost entirely at our mercy. I will make the necessary preparations. Be ready.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Is it true that we'll be assaulting Fort Mercius next? That doesn't sound like the brightest idea. I've heard that it's built to withstand an attack from even the largest of armies. And not to tell you how to do your job, but don't do it. I'm not ready to say my final goodbyes to everyone.
I hurt my leg in the last battle. Had to take shelter down here. Nowhere else to go. Be careful up there. All sides are bringing their strongest people to this fight. Count Burgleys in the Empire, Lord Holst in the Alliance. I'm sure the Kingdom's got someone too.
Got a wager for you. My friend says there's twice as many women in Abyss as men. You think he's right? No way. You got eyes? Take a look around.
You know, House Albrecht also took part in the Battle of Gronder. That's where my little bro is, of course. Yeah, he's very different from me. A smart one, but just about worthless in a fight. I really hope he's okay.
It's not that I don't sympathize with Lady Edelgard's goals, mind you, but perhaps not to the point of shedding blood for her ideals. I must keep her example in mind as I chart a new path. Peace in Fódlan and a restored House Nouvelle shall be my guiding star as I blaze my own trail.
I used to be a rather important person in the church, but I am in exile for committing a crime. I embezzled some money, but it wasn't out of greed. My hometown was pillaged, you see, and the church wasn't putting in enough to rebuild.
People have always fought, I guess. Bandits and nobles clashing over territory, things like that. So before the war, when folks talked about how peaceful everything was, I thought, what continent are you living on? I get it now. A few isolated skirmishes here and there are nothing compared to a full-blown war. The one truly peaceful place I've known was the village where I grew up.
What a pain. What an absolute pain. Concerned, are you? That's nice. A little too nice. Here's a word of warning. If anyone here asks you for a favor, it's probably just a scam.
If the Empire rallies its forces and attacks Garreg Mach, I'm not so sure Abyss will be okay. If we're not careful, it'll end up buried in rubble. Ever the valiant one. But nobody ever knows how a war will turn out. That's part of the deal, you know. Maybe I'm being paranoid, but I want to ensure there's still a refuge for people to escape to.
Hey you, listen up. I've got something to report. Lots of things happen down here. Lots of reports need to be reported. And for all reportable things, I'm your guy.
I'd never have learned this back in...
Practice is paying off.
Guess all that time wasn't wasted.
Did I miss something? So after all that monastery... Did Seteth or Byleth or Flane ever talk about doing a surprise attack, disguising ourselves as Imperials to invade Fort Merceus? Because I know that's what happens in Golden Deer. But did we ever talk about needing a plan, or talk about what the plan is? It just kind of... The people in the monastery are talking about it, and that's it. Also, there's this weird thing with the battle. We weren't there, but a lot of the conversations sound like we were, like we participated, like we just came from the Battle of Gronder Field. This chapter is weird, man. There is just this massive dissonance of like, what is happening? Nothing's being explained. And at the very least, the dialogue with Ferdinand actually touched on the fact that we saw ghostly Dimitri in a dream or whatever. I don't know what's happening anymore. Like, I know where we're going. We're going to Fort Merceus. Probably gonna fight the Death Knight. And to get in, we're gonna use disguises or whatever. I'm interested to know what story is gonna happen, because in Golden Deer, this is the chapter I had, I think, the biggest issues with in Golden Deer. And it was the only issues I really had in Golden Deer. But it was a massive issue to me, just because, by comparison, outside of like the filler stuff, it was just, I don't know, man. We'll see how it goes. But instead of battles today, we have a lot of supports. So I think we're gonna chill. We had all that story stuff, just trying to soak in what the hell's happening. Let's just get some supports going, alright? Speaking of Ferdinand, the Ferdinand Lorenz C. Let's get it started.
Ah, that fragrance. Could it be? Ferdinand, I cannot help but notice the exquisite tea you're drinking.
Oh, I forgot to put him in his bench. He left and put his armor back on. He's gotta don the new and improved bench squad uniform back.
Not many can appreciate it, let alone recognize it. I'm impressed.
Perhaps you would be so good as to indulge me with a cup?
By all means. Allow me to pour.
Ah, what a delightful aroma. When I close my eyes, I feel as though I've wandered into a rose garden.
Such a precise, poetic description. But please, drink up. No need to stand on ceremony.
How gracious of you. Very well. Flavor, fragrance, and hue, all in fine harmony. This is a most superior brew, and in a market saturated by pale imitation, no less. You did well to acquire such fine fare.
You are clearly quite passionate about tea. And more than just passionate. You know what it takes to brew a fine cup. To say nothing of your flawless etiquette and sterling attentiveness.
Certainly. Proper etiquette at tea time is one of the surest hallmarks of quality breeding. And the extent of one's attentiveness is quite often indicative of the depth of one's character. The ability of a person of fine stock to exhibit a rich quality of character is precisely what determines whether one is worthy to be called noble.
Oh my, I think my eyes glazed over in the last two sentences. Jesus Christ. I thought these two were gonna fight. But they're just nobling it up over tea.
And all of that can be seen in how one handles such a simple thing as a cup of tea.
Ah, marvelously put, Lawrence. I can tell you have given much thought to this subject. And if I may, I have always considered you to be the very model of noble comportment.
Likewise, this has certainly been an extraordinarily meaningful cup of tea.
I wholeheartedly concur. Before we part ways, I would like to offer you some of these leaves.
Truly? Well, I'm flattered, but I cannot simply accept them without offering something in exchange. You simply must allow me to host you in turn, by way of recompense. We shall drink from House Gloucester's finest teacups and enjoy the loveliest of its cakes.
That sounds exquisite. I look forward to it.
God, now I know why Linhart... I mean, I knew why Linhart ran from Ferdinand to begin with, but... Jesus Christ, that's not at all what I thought it was gonna be. But before I forget, unit appearance... There he is. Attire, loungewear, in battle, monastery. There we go. Oh my god. What a start. If you were tired, hopefully you didn't fall asleep. Or hopefully you did. Maybe that helped you get to sleep. In which case, you're welcome.
Here's your book of fables you let me set it. It was so interesting to learn all about Saint Indech that I read it cover to cover in one sitting.
Impressive. I'm glad you enjoyed it. What's this sticking out between the pages? Is this an illustration?
No, nothing like that. I must have stuck it in there and forgotten. Just, give it back, please.
Are you certain this was accidental? It quite fits the descriptions in this chapter. Ah, I see. You included an illustration where you thought the visual would be helpful.
No, not at all. I was just fooling around. I have an overactive imagination, and I forgot to take it out before I gave you the book back.
It really is a lovely drawing, you know. Now that I've seen it, the book would feel incomplete without it. But who is this man next to Saint Indech? I can't help but notice he bears a resemblance to me.
Oh, that's Saint Keyhole. The book describes him as one of Saint Indech's closest friends. I got the feeling he was a very serious man, but also really kind. You know, like you. So that probably explains the, resemblance.
I have to say, I never would have expected to be a reference model for Saint Keyhole. What a curious ambivalence. No, what I meant to say is that I am...
What about furious violence?
No, what I meant to say is that I am both flattered and a little embarrassed to be portrayed in this way. Perhaps it is because, in my study of him, I feel like I've also become a friend to Saint Indech. Records show that Saint Indech and Saint Keyhole worked together to achieve great things. If possible, I would like it if the two of us could similarly combine our efforts.
What? How do we figure into this?
We each bear their respective crests, do we not? One might also say that just as I am this book's author, you are now its illustrator. So why don't you do some more illustrations? And color them as well. We'll add them to the book.
You really want me to? I don't know if I'm good enough for something like that.
Oh, I guess I'd never pieced together. Wait. Saint Indech. She's a descendant of the turtle, yet the turtle was on a map for Linhart and Leone. What? I mean, that turtle map is fucking flames. I love that map. But that's... Huh. Okay. Well, the final Dorothea Manuela supports.
Dorothea? You look as if something's terribly wrong.
I do? Oh, nothing's wrong. Not really. I've just been thinking about the future. And what happens when the war is over.
And tell me, what is your vision of the future like?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. I guess I don't know what to expect. In my life, I've met all sorts of people who've lived lots of different ways. So now I'm trying to figure out how I want to live. I'm free, unlike so many people. I have the ability to take control of my own fate. Like you.
Well, I quit the opera to join the Officers' Academy as a professor. Then I joined this war because, well, I don't know. I'm hoping for an end to it. Peace for the world. Even though I took control of my own fate, I still haven't found the man of my dreams.
You'll find him. He's out there somewhere. You know, there is one thing I want for the future.
So, you've got a dream after all.
Well, it's a dream I've always had. You'll think this is silly, but I'd like to stand beside you.
I don't get it.
When you left the opera company, I took your place. I stood center stage and sang, and everyone cheered for me. I wish the cheers were for me and you. I wish we stood on that stage together.
I have to tell you something. The first time I saw you on stage, I felt you were the one I wanted to hear sing. I already had plans to leave the opera company, but when I met you, I knew I couldn't leave until I saw you take your rightful place. You're right, though. It would have been nice to stand beside you on stage, even just once.
Maybe we weren't together then, but we're together here, now. And in the future, maybe it won't be so bad if you never find that man of your dreams.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean by that?
You and me. I won't find a guy either. We can just be together. I think that'd be pretty nice, don't you? Living together and doing whatever we want.
Huh. You know, that could be nice. It'd be like you and me, finally together on stage. The lights shining down, our gowns and jewels sparkling. Just us.
Sparkling in the stage lights forever.
You know, for the romantic twist that does, I mean, it's still like professor versus student, right? Like, there will always, I guess, be a bit of a strange air about it. But it didn't become weird. At least not to me. I didn't see it as... Like, the Hanneman one was just weird. That one, I really like that support. I mean, it's Dorothea's support and Manuela's support, so I've loved both of their supports, just, like, every way. But I thought that one was, I guess, unobtrusive, and I guess lighthearted enough that you could also kind of take it both ways, not even romantically. I don't know what if they have a paired ending card or not, which I guess might explicitly state other things. But from support alone, I thought it was good. I liked it. Hilda. The A with Balthus yet, that's fine. But the A with Seteth.
Hello, Hilda.
Oh, Seteth, good day.
Is it?
Did I do something wrong?
Not to my knowledge. But I cannot help but notice that you no longer shy away when I speak to you.
You noticed that, huh? When you stare at me, I feel like you're peering into my soul.
And that no longer bothers you? Does that mean your conscience is finally clear?
Nah, I got used to it. I know you're not scary.
That's unfortunate. You really should do something to correct your lazy behavior.
Maybe that's true. I wouldn't want to be like the fox, forced to wander in the snow all winter.
I'm pleased to see you grasped the moral of the story.
Don't you think the squirrel was a little cold-hearted, though? He seems not to care about what happens to his friend, as long as he himself is happy.
You know, that is a valid point.
True.
I have no wish to encourage that attitude in children. Perhaps if the fox only survives thanks to the squirrel kindly sharing some of his acorns. How does that sound to you?
I like it okay. I'm sure the kids will admire that nice, compassionate squirrel.
Thank you for your insight. As it happens, I have some other stories that I wrote for Flame. Would you like to hear them?
You should make a book out of them. It's a shame that only Flane and I get to enjoy them.
What a fine idea. I will begin immediately. Though I feel such a book requires illustrations, and I have no artistic talent. Would you lend me a hand?
I can probably manage. Not like they need to be terribly fancy.
I could use some more of your wisdom with regard to the content of the stories also.
That sounds like a pain, but I'm invested in this now. Let's do it!
Excellent! That's wonderful to hear. Let us produce the very best book we can, for the children's sake.
You look so excited. I can't help but lend a hand.
Okay, that was adorable. Holy shit, there's still an A+ to that too. So more of Seteth. Somehow, yeah, I got this. Somehow we never did Seteth Plain. So let's get that. You know what? Yeah, we'll just go top to bottom. Why not? Get that started.
Flayn, there you are. I've been looking everywhere for you.
Now I know for a fact we've seen C, and that apparently, according to my support log, is the only one we've seen.
You worry too much, brother.
I think a kidnapping is good cause for concern. I was so worried about you I nearly fainted.
Had that not happened, I would have never been allowed to join the professor's class. Even from something so dire, some good did come of it.
That is a dangerous attitude. This world is full of peril. You must be more vigilant. Please understand, I allowed you to enroll here only because I thought it best for your safety.
I am very much aware of that. You wanted to speak to me of something?
Yes, my dear little sister. You are kind beyond all measure, and you are the very picture of innocence. But precisely because of these very fine qualities, I worry about your interactions with the others here. The youths of our army are particularly eccentric. As your brother, it is my duty to help you with any concerns you may have.
I do appreciate the offer, but all the students and professors have treated me exceptionally well.
Jump cut back to her talking to Sylvain and pretty much just saying, back off, slut.
Even so, there must be at least some worry. Please, you need not conceal anything from me.
You worry far too much. There is truly nothing to share, and nothing for you to fret over.
Are you absolutely sure? The idea of you suffering in silence is unbearable to me.
Enough! I made it clear that nothing is wrong. I stand by my word. Well, there is one concern that comes to mind.
What is it? Tell me. I will help however I can.
There is a certain somebody who seems determined to get in the way of my friendships with my classmates.
What? That's horrible. Fear not. I will handle this scoundrel for you. Just tell me his name.
It is you, brother. Now then, I must be on my way.
Fucking got him.
What was Flayn getting at just now? Let's see, I was speaking to her. I asked her to share her concerns, and... was there something else? No matter. Fear not, Flayn. Your brother will protect you from all harm.
God damn it. He clearly did not get it. But we'll actually see it progress this time through. Seteth and Manuela B.
It seems I'm not the only one here. Manuela?
Oh, Seteth. Hello.
This is quite the surprise. I would not expect to find you here outside of ordinary prayer time.
Praying? No, I was just resting. Whenever I'm in the infirmary, I simply cannot get out of doing work. I need a place to sit and close my eyes.
There is no need to hide it. It is obvious you were praying quite solemnly just now.
No, I was just enjoying some old memories. That's all. In fact, I was just thinking about when my parents first brought me here as a child. I wandered off from my parents because I heard a beautiful voice. It was a woman, singing, somewhere just out of sight. I began to sing along, hoping she would hear me and that we might meet. I never found her, whoever she was. Yet it was she who taught me I could sing.
Interesting. I'd never heard that. But I suppose if you were only a child, this would be before I arrived at Garreg Mach. In any case, if that singing voice helped you find your way, then that is a wonderful thing.
I've never told anyone else, but I believe it was the goddess I heard. And that day, she gifted me my singing voice. And I thank the goddess for leading me back here after I left the opera company.
You know, when you speak of the goddess in this way, it is as though you are an entirely different person. If you were to behave that way more in your daily life, I would have a much higher opinion of you.
That's not a compliment, Seteth.
Oh, that's very sweet, coming from you, Seteth.
I mean, she took it well.
Should I take that to mean that you like your ladies pious and respectable?
One little compliment and you completely lose control of yourself. What am I to do with you?
Oh, it's a joke. Look, I'm just no good at serious conversations. Although, I would be lying if I said I wasn't interested in knowing what kind of woman does get your attention.
As thanks for the touching tale you have shared, I will satisfy your curiosity just this once. My preferred woman is kind, quiet, and proper. But above all else, she is straightforward and honest.
Quiet. Proper. There's no need to be cruel, Seteth.
Well. Okay. The singing thing, though, that's a really cool thing to learn about Manuela. Huh. I wonder if we'll learn... This is the goddess herself. I mean, knowing what we know about Seteth, Flane, and Rhea... And Rhea does sing. Maybe it was Rhea. Or it would be... Flane? Or I suppose... I don't know how long... Seteth's wife has been dead. If it's been within Manuela's lifetime. Potentially her? I don't know. Either way, Seteth and Catherine A to finish their support off.
Take that, you goons! And that!
No, Catherine's at it again. She has charged too far forward. I better join her before she... Are you all right?
That's what I was going to ask you. How could you be so reckless? All those times you scolded me, and now you get yourself all beaten up. To think, nearly getting yourself killed in a minor skirmish like this one.
Quite right. Thankfully, I am not badly hurt. My apologies. I didn't mean to worry you.
What's gotten into you?
How do you mean?
Don't play dumb. I was supposed to patrol this area, not you. What are you even doing here?
Just happened to be passing through?
Seteth, this isn't like you bumped into me on a stroll around town. Nobody passes through a battlefield.
All right. I wanted to protect you.
What?
You'd pressed much too far ahead. I feared your life might be in danger. Once that thought occurred to me, I could not stand idly by. I had to shield you from harm.
And you were injured in the process. I don't know what to say. Seteth, I didn't realize you worried so much about my safety. I apologize. And I'm grateful. I guess we really are companions.
I did not do this merely to assist an ally. I did it for you. I don't want to lose you. And if I am willing to risk my life to protect you, just think how much scolding I am capable of. So you had best take better care of yourself.
All right, you've made your feelings clear. When you say it like that, I can't refuse. I'm sorry for making you worry all the time. I'll be more careful. I promise.
Please do. For my sake and yours.
Okay. That was a nice one. Nothing like too profound or deep between those two. But it was nice. Seteth and Cyril A.
Cyril?
Hey.
You seem pensive. Have you been thinking over the advice I gave you?
Yeah, but it kinda scares me.
Scares you? Why?
If I found something else I was more interested in than repaying Lady Rhea, I don't know. Wouldn't that be kinda like I was betraying Lady Rhea, in a way?
Betrayal is a rather strong word, don't you think?
Well, I mean, Lady Rhea is why I got this life. Or any life. If I ended up just leaving her, that just seems real ungrateful and kinda rude.
If Rhea herself felt betrayed by your actions, then yes. I suppose it would be. But if all you are doing is seeking your path, with no harm to her, I do not think she would object. In fact, I am confident she would be happy for you.
You are?
Ask her yourself when she returns. You will see. You want to make Rhea happy, don't you?
Well, yeah, of course.
Then you should do what makes you happy.
Okay, I get that, yeah. By the way, there's something weird I noticed.
What is that?
Before, whenever we'd talk, you always used to call Lady Rhea the Archbishop. But just now, you were calling her Rhea.
Does it perturb you to hear me speak of her with such familiarity?
No, I just wondered why.
I am, of course, Rhea's servant. So, in a more formal context, I must maintain a deferential distance. But she and I are actually very old friends. In fact, we think of one another almost like family. I know Rhea extremely well. When I am confident about how she will feel, I am seldom wrong. So trust me when I say that if your path to happiness takes you away from here, she will wish you the best.
Okay, I'm glad to hear it. Thank you.
Of course, we must first rescue her from her current predicament. I will be counting on your aid in that.
You got it.
That was more so a Seth support than a Cyril support. I mean, I guess he finally got over his weird, like, I have to serve Lady Rhea. She gave me everything, so I have no choice. But alright. Moving forward. You know what? Hold on. There's something I see this C here. I need to check something. Okay, it was like, this is locked out. We missed this. But we did get a support with Seteth at some point. I don't remember it, but we have all the way through A, so we've seen it somewhere. But yeah, Hanneman and Aloise B finishing this one up, and all the Aloise supports, or all the Hanneman supports.
What do you think of my progress so far?
To be blunt, you are still struggling more than I would expect.
Oh boy.
Ah, I see. I suppose I need to give it a little more of that Aloise oomph.
How does someone remain so upbeat when they are accomplishing, well, absolutely nothing?
Come again? I didn't quite catch that.
Just jabbering to myself. Pay me no mind.
All right. I've been wondering, why did you agree to train me in the first place? When I told everyone you were teaching me, they could hardly believe it.
Well, if I'm completely honest, you're less of a student and more of an experiment. You have no crest, but you might be able to learn magic, despite our early results. And the potential magical ability of those who lack a crest is precisely what I hope to research.
That's a surprise. A crest scholar researching people without crests?
When studying crests, it is also important to understand the effects of their absence.
True.
After all, the very reason for all of my research is to grant the power of a crest to anyone who desires it. If it is in fact possible to increase the magical potential of people lacking a crest, then I find myself one step closer to my goal. Hence, my experiments with you are quite valuable to my research.
Oh, that's wonderful! What a great man you are, Professor Hanneman. Truly a man among men. Why, if I could prove it's possible to use magic without a crest, what an honor that would be. Oh, please, use me as you see fit. I won't let you down, I promise.
Could you express your enthusiasm more quietly? And if at any point you wish to discontinue...
Oh no, I'm ready to go. Let's make a breakthrough. Come on, Hanneman. You should be shouting too. A bright future awaits.
No. Shouts and screams are detrimental to scholarly research, and to my ears.
Oh, I meant to tell you, I have some friends who struggle with magic as well.
Oh no.
I'll ask them to help. Perhaps if we all chip in, we can make your dream a reality. Onward!
Aloise! Forget it. That man never slows down. But I suppose I can appreciate why some are drawn to his exuberance.
Okay. Let's see, Manuela and Cyril B. Alright, apparently we never got this. We only got C.
Manuela? What's she doing down there?
Ugh. What did I do to deserve pain like this? Alright. Same thing as always.
She seems fine. I ought to just keep walking. See no evil, right?
Stay right there.
Oh boy.
Cyril! It must be a little dollop of destiny meeting you here. Listen, you wouldn't leave me when I needed a little help, would ya?
Okay. What do you need?
That's my boy, Cyril. You're a saint. I don't want to be trouble, but get me water and medicine. Now, please. I feel a bit better now. Thank you so much, Cyril. My sweet, dear little Cyril.
Professor Manuela, why do you do this to yourself? It makes you feel so bad the next day, I don't see the point.
Oh, you know, sometimes I'm upset and... well, that's it, really. It's not something a kid like you could understand. Maybe one day, or not. Who knows? All I know is that my head aches.
Professor, isn't this stuff why you keep running men off? And them running is what upsets you. Then you do this all over again.
You can't understand heartbreak until you've felt it for yourself. But when you're older, your heart will break. And I'll make sure to be there. To get you water and all that.
That's okay.
You're always so nice and sweet, Cyril. I'll pay you back. Promise.
Nope, no thanks. No reason to. You don't have to do anything.
Oh, don't be shy. I'll be waiting in the wings for that little heart of yours to shatter.
Jesus.
Oh, Cyril. What were you saying? I interrupted, I think.
I was just saying I need to get going. A lot of work to do. Lots. Okay, bye.
Oh my god. And it just ends like that. That is incredible. Alright. Eloise and Catherine B.
You know, Catherine, you really saved my hide. If not for you, I would have bought that phony coin. So I just wanted to say, money thanks. Really, I can't begin to express my gratitude.
There's no need to thank me, Eloise. It was nothing. But I am a little worried about you. You just immediately believed what he was saying. You're way too trusting. I wish you'd be a little more skeptical about people, that's all.
Yes, you make a good point. I'll try to be more cautious from now on.
Excuse me, sir.
Oh, no.
I'm terribly sorry to interrupt.
Good day, ma'am. Do you need something?
I'm afraid so. You see, I'm a humble traveler, and a pickpocket stole all my money.
Nope, she came up to you with a sob story. That's a no-go.
I don't have enough to get home, and I have nowhere to sleep tonight. Please, sir, spare a little money to help me.
Oh, I'm so sorry about your troubles. I don't have much on me, but here.
Eloise, no, not so fast. You there, traveler. Tell me your name. I'd like to take an official statement from you so that we can investigate this theft. Once we ascertain exactly what happened, then we will lend you some money. How does that sound? And she's gone.
What? You don't mean she was trying to...
Yes, she was. It's a common trick for cheats to pull. They pluck at your heartstrings so that you'll give them your money. You just said you'd be more careful, too. You really are an easy mark, Eloise.
How embarrassing.
Why are you so quick to trust people?
I've always believed that to earn others' trust, you have to be trusting.
You're taking that philosophy a bit too far.
Okay. And then, ooh, this is the actual, like, sad Eloise support. Let's see.
Eloise.
Ah! A ghost! I'm sorry! Oh, forgive me, please forgive me!
Calm down. It's just me.
Oh. So we have learned from Blue Lions that Eloise is deathly afraid of anything and like any and all things scary. And it was a comical support with Mercedes. But this might, I don't know, maybe I'm speaking too soon, but is it some trauma in the past that he kind of like Dimitri, where the ghosts of people in his past are like haunting him in his head, like he's fucking beating himself up about it?
That voice, it's Shamir? Ah, it's Shamir. Whew, you frightened me. My heart was beating so hard I thought it would burst out my nose.
Your heart's in your chest, not your head.
Can you try not to be so
Shamir.
stealthy when you're approaching a fellow knight?
Your reaction was excessive. Are you afraid of ghosts?
I suppose there's no point in hiding it. I'm terrified of them.
Terrified? Of ghosts? I didn't mean to pry. There's no need to...
No, I want to get it off my chest. That time when we were on our way back from a mission, do you remember what I asked you?
You asked if I ever think about the people I've killed.
Yes. You said you never do, but me, I can't go a day without thinking about them.
Yup. Okay, I was right on that thinking track.
The feel of my weapon cutting through them, their twisted faces, their cries of pain, and that awful scent of blood. I was carrying out my duties, but that doesn't make it easier for me to forget. And the dead haven't forgotten me either. Their hatred, their resentment, their curses. One day, the spirits will set upon me for revenge. Ooh!
I apologize for striking you, but it had to be done. Have you calmed down?
Yes, thanks. I needed that.
I'm surprised someone like you managed to become a knight. Or perhaps that's why you became one.
Okay. There's still an 8 of that. Looking forward to it. Oh, actually, no. Those last 2 were all from previous routes. Okay. So there we go. Support block complete. Still got a decent bit more. We haven't even started Aloise and Petra. I think Aloise has the most undone supports. Well, Sethet still has a bit. Well, no, Ingrid doesn't count because we've already gotten her. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely Aloise. I think everyone else is practically done. But okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't know what... Whenever we do the end chapter mission of this, I guess... Maybe things will fit together. Maybe there'll be a grand aha moment, but, I don't know what the fuck happened this chapter. As far as starting it. But yes, that's gonna be it. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye.